Here's a game where I made the dumbest blunder possible. Okay, I made the dumbest blunder possible, and yet still somehow, some way, by some miracle, found a way to close it out. Let's check it out. He goes e4, and I go for this e6 b6 setup. This is a 5-minute game, and it's a little easier for me to autopilot this opening rather than the Sicilian, so I play it. And this right here is just all kind of my prep. I figured playing bishop here to trade off his light square bishop is a good idea because this pawn's not going anywhere, so my bishop, even though it's on this awesome diagonal, is just not going to be able to do anything. He moves his knight, and I decide to pin it, and I was just kind of worried about queen going over here, but it's actually just not really much of a threat because the knight always defends this knight's always defended, and I can just castle. He trades, and then I trade here after he pushes my bishop, and I castle. And I was like, kind of like, I don't know if I should castle. I was just kind of worried about this always being an issue with my king being on e1. But I castle here, and boom. It's time to go full monkey pawn storm on the king side. I play knight to e7, a huge mistake, because I wanted to go here, which I do. Now, my knight is hanging, and if you saw some of my other videos on this channel, I hang knights on a6 just all the time. Apparently, I'm just blind whenever my knight's on a6. But I am attacking his bishop, so taking on a6 is not necessarily the best idea. I can't even draw arrows. This is how bad I am with the knight just being on a6. It just throws me off. So he defends his bishop. This is an inaccuracy. He defends by moving out of the way. I moved my knight out of the way. I finally did see that my knight was hanging. He castles, which I thought was honestly like a huge mistake. The king is decently safe with the center being all closed up like this. So, why do you castle? You just have this rook here, you know? You have this rook. I can't even draw arrows to the rook. You have the rook. Why? So he castles. I decide to take up with file. He attacks. Knight goes back. Knight goes up, threatening checkmate. And here I make the dumbest blunder. I blundered on passant. This is a terrible move. There's literally nothing I can do here. The best move, the computer says, is for me to just go here and give up the knight. Not too much worse is what I actually played, is g6. Giving up the knight, take. I'm like, okay. And he x-rays my queen. What can I do here? I literally considered about resigning here. I was so mad at myself. I blundered on passant. But I was like, okay, it's a blitz game. I'm just going to see what I can do. Maybe I can choke him out on the clock. Okay, he goes rook to 81, doubling up on this pawn, and I take this pawn right here. I'm just like, okay, he made this castling move. I'm just going to try and just create any kind of miracle. The eval bar does not believe in my chances, but I'm not giving up. And then rook takes e6. This is a blunder because of how I punished it. I think he was worried about knight takes e6. I just have this check right away. So he's like, oh, I'll take with the rook. But this isn't like the rook, right? This is just straight up blunders the rook. Because when you take back, I still can take this pawn. I'm choking in chess and I'm choking in real life. Okay. I still can take the pawn, and then I just win the knight back. The computer says queen to g3 is just way better because it pins the queen and saves the knight. But he blocks with the bishop. Take the knight, and now it says I'm majorly winning because I'm up an exchange and a pawn. Queen goes back to d2, and I play queen to g4. I was like, okay, I'm worried about just any checks on the king. This is a problem. Anything. This could potentially be a problem. So this kind of shuts down all of it. It pins this bishop and it guards this. So queen e3, I attack, queen goes back, and now boom, I attacked the pinned bishop. I do the famous PP on the PP that every other chess YouTuber talks about. and put pressure on the bishop. King moves out of the pin, but unfortunately for that, that just allows me to take with check. Computer thought there was a better move. Rook to f3 was mate in 28. Well, pardon me for missing that, stockfish. Okay, we take the pawn, queen takes, and I take, and here I'm just majorly winning. I take check here, win the pawn, and trade, and he really just has nothing here, and right here he just lets his time run out. And yeah, so this is an interesting game that I made the worst blunder of blundering off Passant in.